Hello, this is Becca from Aloha Designs, and welcome. Today I'll be doing just a short video to share my finish for the fruit prompt. And I managed to finish this early, so I'll be sharing a little project at the end of the video that I actually had time to work on because I finished this early. And so I thought I would share that as well. If you'd like to stick around and watch that, you're welcome to. And if not, of course, go right on to the next Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Still Life project to view. So my fruit are all stitched down. I decided to stitch them in place. Because I thought, rather than wait to sew them down and find out what the other prompts were, I thought that's why it's a challenge. I thought I'll put them here. This seems to be a good place for them. Maybe having some fruit while you're choosing a book to read. And whatever the other two prompts are, there should be room for them here. Hopefully I can make them, arrange it so that it looks nicely arranged on a table or a desk, whatever this might be. And so again, I didn't do a lot of thread painting on these fruits because I just loved the way the fabric did the work for me. I thought the fabric was plenty, and I just did a tiny bit of stitching other than the invisible and applique stitching down. So I left this portion of the dish free. I didn't stitch this down. It could have been stitched down here, but I thought it was more dimensional. This whole piece has a lot of delicious dimension to it, and so I thought that it would be interesting to make this seem as though there's really a dish here. It's dimensional. And so all I did was a tiny bit of stitching on this pair. If you can see this, just with a single strand of DMC floss, I kind of emphasized these dark portions and did a few highlights in this gold color for the lighter part of the pair where the light might be shining on it. And then again, some dark portions here with a darker floss, all the same. I only used two colors on this. Again, a little bit of dark in here and a little bit of light. Same thing here, a little dark and a little light, just to kind of emphasize this, the roundness of the pear and maybe the light shining from that direction. And I added a stem with some of the silk that I have, that Vineyard Classic silk, and that's a thicker thread, so that worked out nicely for the stems. I added the stems to all three pairs. And then for this pair, I just outlined it with a single strand of brown, actually machine stitching thread. It was 50 weight, and I just did an outline stitch just to kind of delineate between the two pairs there. And then for here, I stitched again with one single strand of floss down here, and then here are some straight stitches in kind of a straw color to kind of give that look that you see on the inside of a pear, along with some shading of a Derwent pencil, my Derwent color watercolor pencils. This is just a lazy daisy stitch and then filled in for the seeds on that. And then lastly, on this little green pear, I shaded this with some Derwent watercolor pencils again, just to kind of, make it look as if it's rounded, as if it's three-dimensional. And just cut out this little piece of fabric here to kind of emphasize where the pear is a little more round and where the light might be hitting it. And just did a few rows of stem stitch or outline stitch here, just to give it a little bit of texture. And I also stitched the cover on. I'm not sure if that was on in the last video or not. So basically, I'll just give you a close-up. That is the pear. the pairs, the 3 pairs, and the dish all stitched down. And this, of course, again is, sorry, I'm going out of the frame. This is all left up just to give a little more dimension to it. So, and I finished this early, which was really very nice. I'll try to zoom out for you so you can get the whole picture. So this is what it looks like all together so far. And I'm curious to know what these other props will be, whereabouts we'll be putting them, and if there's room to add something else that we'd like to add on here as well. I still have those little flowers somewhere. Oh, they're not here, they're not handy, but I still have those little flowers that I'd like to add that looked like they had fallen maybe onto this table. So zoom back out or back in. So here it is, fruit prompt all done. So that's prompt number 3. 1, 2, 3. We're getting there. So thank you for joining me, and if you'd like to stay tuned and watch the little project that I stitched up while this was finished, gave me a little extra time, I will share that with you as well. Okay, if you don't go on to the next portion, I'll say bye for now. So when I enter my sewing room, I can see over there the changes that I made with this little project, and they kind of relate to this color that I painted the backing for this hutch top that was my mom's. And I just love that color. It's kind of a duck egg blue, and I keep all of my treasures, all of my wonderful treasures on this hutch, so that when I walk in here, this is one of the first things that I see. But that color, I love. That color is my favorite, and I love pink as well. So let's go over here to the project that I was able to make when I finished the fruit prompt for our still life. So this is the first thing that I did. This is my little pressing surface for when I'm piecing, not for large things, but when I'm piecing, I just turn from my machine here over to this pressing surface, and I love this fabric. I've had this for quite a long time. It's really beautiful, and this is just a piece of birch that's been cut. I think it's probably like 36 inches, and I just put some batting and this fabric. This is a home deck fabric that I bought years and years ago, and have just been saving it and thought it was time to use it. And I put some legs, these are adjustable legs, on this pressing table, and that gave me room to have a large basket here for other projects that I'm working on. Some extra storage space there. So that is my pressing surface, and of course it's that same color that I love. And the other thing that I decided to do while I had that fabric out was to make a covering for my chair. And this chair has a curved back, so you'd really have to reupholster the chair in order to make it fit. So I decided I didn't want to actually cover this and reupholster it. I thought I would just make a little slip cover that I could just pop on and off if it needed to be washed, or again, if I wanted to change it. So I just made that little cover to slip on. And then for the seat, this is a round seat, and I didn't want to have to cut the circle, and of course there's the depth of the seat, you know, that you'd have to allow for, and I didn't want to do that. So I made this out of a rectangle, and I pieced pieces of fabrics because that used the main bulk of my fabric, and I had to own this also used a good portion. So I just had pieces left, and I had to piece this seat portion. And so when I'm sewing, I take this right off and I hang it here on a command hook because I don't want to get it all wrinkled and worn out. I just love it. I want it to last for years. So it's just very easy. I just kind of drape it back on the chair, kind of like that. I didn't, as I said, I didn't want to cut a circle, so I just put a few pleats in it and put some buttons where the pleats are to kind of gather it in and make it conform a little bit better to the circle. The same thing on this side over here. Probably don't have this on quite right, but again, there's the pleat and a button, and the pleat and a button. And this old lace scarf came in handy. I don't know, to me it looks like French country. I just absolutely love it. Really love it. So isn't it fun to change your surroundings and have something new? Just gives you sort of a new perspective on things. So finishing my fruit prompt early allowed me to do these two things and also get back to this quilt that I'm working on for my son and daughter-in-law. It's a cabin in the mountains, and here it is up here, a portion of it. I'm still making elements to put on there. So yeah, this extra time has afforded me to catch up on some other projects, and I'm also hand quilting a just with Big Stitch, a little Christmas quilt that I had made recently. So this has been fun to squeeze in a few more things to do. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll leave you another view of my gorgeous fabric on my pressing surface and my chair. Very happy with both and happy that I had the time to do them. So thanks for viewing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.